Hey, good morning, everyone. How's it going today? Coach Alvarez here. Back at you another episode, Coffee with Coach. Episode 98, getting close to episode 100. Man, every day, 98 days consecutive. Pretty good stuff. Had to get it in today. So, again, going through the normal morning routine. Taught 6 a.m. class today. Came home, took the dog for a walk already. Do this, about to get the run in right after this before it gets too hot. But anyways, of course, listening to all the stuff I listen to and listening to a different David Goggins video today. And it's really good stuff. It's just a small little snippet of like how he, got to the discipline that he has these days. And it relates to something that I think I've shared in, I don't know if it was a Coffee with Coach video, but it was another video. But do the dishes, man. Dishes in the sink. And I relate to this one, and I really like it a lot because I'm big on this, like dishes in the sink. I'm big on that. And what I'm talking about is, letting stuff pile up. Dishes pile up. I used to do that. Okay, I used to do that. We used to, like, in my house now, we don't even have a dish rack because I refuse to allow dishes to pile up because it's so easy to do. You get lazy. It's like you cook, you do dishes, and after cooking and doing dishes, you don't want to finish the job. You don't want to dry them and put them away. So what do? Put them in the dish rack. And at the other house, before we moved, like I said, we had the dish rack, and the pile would get bigger and bigger because why? You're in a hurry, you're in a rush. You just feel lazy. You don't feel like doing it. Stuff start piling up. What happens? Start piling up to the point where, like, there's no more room in the dish rack. They start falling on the floor, and then you start trying to find ways to, like, fit it in the dish rack instead of just drying them and putting them away like you should. You're just getting lazy and you just leave the dishes that way. So when I moved recently, I was like, you know what? Anything that is cluttered around me has to go. Like, I threw out so much stuff, cleaned out my garage, threw away so many clothes, like just things that I haven't seen in years. I just had to get rid of it because it was just cluttering up my house. And when I walk around the house and things are cluttered, I just feel like my mind is cluttered. Like, my office is always clean. My desk is always organized. When I walk in here, it needs to be neat. I go to the kitchen, it needs to be neat. Like, everything is picked up. Always. Like, you could always come over at any moment and the house is going to be, like, spotless. So, doing the dishes, what David Goggins was talking about is, like, as a kid, he was talking about he was a lazy kid. And as he got older, he realized that he just had to get rid of his lazy ways, letting things pile up. So to get to the discipline where he's at, he realized that, hey, my room's dirty, my bedroom's dirty, my bed isn't fixed. So he said he started making small incremental changes, like fixing his bed, cleaning his room, putting the dishes away. He's like, before I used to had to be told to mow the yard. And he goes, after a while, I just did it on my own because I just saw that it needed to be mowed. So I just did it. So he goes, over time, you start to do things that you run from, okay? You're running from, you don't want to do them. They're just time-consuming things. You don't want to get them done, so things pile up, things get cluttered, and then your life gets cluttered. So he said he started working on these little incremental things like his room, dishes, cleaning up after himself. Those things turned into bigger things, into where now it's like the discipline's there. Like, it's there. Like, it's just who he is. And I think what it was I shared this video, at least I know I shared it to my team quite a bit, is Admiral McRaven, Navy SEAL, another Navy SEAL. And he has a really good video about fixing your bed. And it's like how you win the day. You start winning the day. You win your day by fixing your bed. You hop out of bed, you turn around, and you fix it. That's how you win the day. And I talk to my students about that, like my kids program, stuff like that. Like, I'll ask the kids, like, who fixed your bed, and they'll raise their hand, and whoever didn't, I gotta give them push-ups, because I'm trying to show them at an early age, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, that they need to be neat, they need to be clean, they need to be organized, they need to fix their bed in the morning and start winning the day at an early age. And I've also had parents tell me where, like, I gave those speeches in class. And kids that had no idea how to fix their bed, they're trying. And the parents are laughing, like, their son or daughter was, like, trying to fix their bed, but had no idea what they're doing. But because I told them they had to have their bed fixed, they were already trying to fix it. So it's planting that seed, getting those things in place at an early age instead of later to set up the discipline later on in life. And so I've been like this for a while with a lot of other disciplines. But like I said, small things like the dishes, small things like my garage. Man, my garage at one point was just disastrous. Like it was just one of those things where like you just didn't want to walk into the garage and go get something because it was horrible. And I was like, look, I'm this way in all these other areas of my life, but look at my garage. It sucks. So one day, one weekend, I spent the whole weekend like just throwing stuff out, organizing things. And then as I started clearing it out, I just felt better. Like I felt really, really good. Like I was like, man, I can actually like walk in here and like have a path to go get something versus stepping over stuff or kicking things around. Because I did. I'm guilty like everyone, like a lot of people. Like I just got lazy. That's not happening no more. And then once we moved, like I have my car parked in my garage. Like I got weights. Like I got my gis all on a shelf, like organized. I got other stuff all organized on my shelves. Like it's a nice, very clean organ. Like I can open up both garage doors and neighbors can walk by and be like, oh man, look, that's pretty clean. Where before, I had to keep the garage door closed. I didn't want no one to see what was inside my garage because it just looked so nasty. And so I had to fix all those things. And as I slowly fixed them, that's why I said I can relate to this a lot, because that, you know, in some areas I had laziness. And so those things filter in the other areas is what David Goggins is talking about. And then I can relate to that because that's what happened to me. I was like disciplined with my jiu-jitsu, disciplined with my workouts, disciplined with my runs, healthy eating, like taking vitamins, like all this stuff. I was very disciplined with. This other stuff I was lazy with. And I was like, man, I got to fix this. I got to get everything across the board, like raise the bar higher. So like I said, got rid of a lot of things, man. Just cleaned house literally on so many things to where I just feel so much better because, you know, I'm more organized, I'm more neat, I'm not as cluttered. And it, like I said, it would just really for some reason, clutter would just really get to me to where I just didn't care. And then I would just pile up more things. So just a tip, word of advice, you know, some people might take this and be like, yeah, whatever, coach, or whatever, Alvarez, I'm gonna leave my dishes in the sink. But if you're looking to get more disciplined, more organized, have things in a more clear path, trust me, it will make a huge difference. Like fix your bed first thing in the morning. That's what I do every single day. Like I hop out of bed, my bed is fixed, because that video of the Admiral McRaven is always in my head. There's days where I'm just like, I'm not going to do it. And I'm like, I can't not do it because my conscience gets the best of me. Like I'm being lazy. I'm starting my day off with a loss. Okay. I got dishes in the sink. That's not happening here. Everyone that comes over, they cook, hey, have at it, but don't leave anything in the sink. Do your dishes, dry them, and they put them away. Like, again, there is absolutely no dish rack in the house, because why? That stuff, it's just so easy to just let stuff pile up. And if that's you, make those small little incremental changes, and you'll start to see a clearer path with everything else. Things will just get better, and you'll just become more disciplined. Because he said, like, people ask David Goggins, like, well, like, how are you able to stick to your runs? How are you able to do this? How are you able to do that? And he goes, I started with cleaning my room, started fixing my bed, started doing this, started these small little things add up to the big things. And I can relate to that 100% because that's what I do before listening to this stuff. But I was that individual that, like I said, had the messy garage, had the stuff piled up in the closet, had the stuff like dishes in the sink, and just after a while, you just don't care. And what happens? You look sloppy, you are sloppy, and there's other areas in your life that creeps into. And that's what happens. So in order for me to fix those things, I had to smart with these other things. You don't think it's a big deal? It's a big deal. Dishes in the sink. Don't let them sit there. Dry them, put them away. Fix your bed. Do whatever you need to do. Clean your office, clean your cubicle, wherever you're at work. Like you should get compliments on how neat you are. I'm a little crazy with that stuff now because, like I said, you come over and you put your shoes, because there's no shoes in the house. You got to walk, you know, hopefully you got some no holes in your socks, nothing like that, man, or your toenails are clipped, because you got to walk, you know, can't have no shoes on in my house. The shoes got to be neat. I'm gonna come right behind you and put your shoes right in a neat order, because I want my stuff in a neat order. No disorganization. Everything has to be organized and put in place. I'm not too crazy where I'm alphabetizing my cans in my pantry or anything like that, but it has to be neat. So anyways, Dishes in the sink, don't let them sit there. Clean them up, fix your bed, do these small little changes. Again, you know, looking at my front yard, don't let your front yard get all nasty, full of weeds. I don't know how people do that. Like, I'm a big you know, thing on my front yard, like the curb appeal. No weeds, got to be clean and cut every single day. Got to look neat, have, you know, one of the nicest yards in the neighborhood for sure. And I don't know how people, where I used to live, man, my neighbors had weeds all the time. I swear I wanted to just roll through their yard with some weeding feed in the middle of the night and just kill all their weeds for them, because it just irked me that someone lived next to me and they had just nasty weeds. And I actually drove by the house the other day because I'm renting that house out. And the neighbor across the street, it looked like a jungle over there. The individuals that used to live there had their front yard looking nice and neat, flowers all planted in the front yard, bushes all trimmed and everything. And I drove by the other day, and whoever's living across the street from where I used to live, it's madness. And I'm like, man, how can you live like that? So anyways, no dishes in the sink. Hope that helps you out. Have a good day. We'll catch you on the next one.